There we go, the barracks goes down, that's going to cut even further into it. The riflemen open fire. They're not even going to bother stepping back, they're just going to carve the soldiers completely in two in natural choke point here. And with even less production now here from Kieras, he's got 4 versus all the barracks at home for Yummy. The soldier goes down, it's just 4 riflemen versus about, what, 14 here at the front? Workers are going to get pulled again, but that's just going to end up in more deaths and going to put the economy of Kieras even further behind. He's doing a really good job of keeping them being produced, but right now he just needs to put that gold into something. He's just falling further behind. You can see the soldiers are up at the front now, and riflemen are going to start to go down. That's it, falling down to 19 versus 27 workers. The riflemen set up a concave on the outside here. Kieras trying to make a final stand. And this looks like it's going to be the end. We'll be expecting a GG pretty shortly here. There we go, down to 2 riflemen. One more comes out of the barracks in the background. There's not going to be enough. He's not mining from his natural base. He's trying desperately, you can see, just to pump out enough units to hold on here. But the upgrades from Yummy are just too strong right now. Kieras actually does have better upgrades. So it is actually just going to be the army here contributing from Yummy. He has another armor in the background, but I don't even think he's going to need it. He goes marching straight to the main base of Kieras now. And this has been a fantastic showing in his first game here. Taking down, in the first game, the second place winner of last week's tournament. Yummy possibly looking to actually make really quite a strong stand here. Both players actually with over 140 APM, so that's slightly nuts. And we'll be asking Kieras what he wants the second map to be, while I just update everything else. Alright, so we do actually have 14 people in stream now, which is pretty sweet. So we're just going to update the overlay for you right now, and then we'll be going straight into the second game. And it's going to be Steps of War. And Yummy possibly looking to just 2-0 Kieras in his first match, which would be somewhat of an upset. That's probably not what most people were expecting after seeing Kieras in the last week's tournament. Okay, and we're going to go into it already. Players are ready. It's going to be Steps of War. And down in the bottom left, showing a wonderfully strong showing and making use of an opening possibly going out of date right now. In the blue trunks, it's going to be Yummy. Up in the top right hand corner, our previous week's second place finalist, but looking rather weak actually in his first game there, making some mistakes early on and eventually succumbing to the macro of his opponent. It is gonna be Kieras. Kieras once again going for this barracks first play, and so is Yummy, and I agree with that decision. You can see this is quite a small map here. The sort of natural choke is really quite wide, and you do have this workshop that can be sort of broken through between the third and the natural. There are double bases at the top side and down at the bottom side here, but they don't tend to come into play until sort of the late end of the game. So it's mostly just going to be 1 or 2 base play between these players, possibly going into a third base macro game based on... we'll just see how it goes. But both players now stepping forward just to pop down their barracks. There we go. And so it's going to be pretty similar, but it's going to be really close because all they're going to have to survive is going to be these barracks units. You lose 1 or 2 of those first few units, you're going to be in a seriously dicey position. Yummy actually going to be, again, the only one to scout, so that's possibly a mistake there from Kieras. I understand that he feels safe with his 1 barracks, sort of warding off any cheese, But right now there's nothing to stop Yummy just going for something like a tower rush at the front outside of his line of sight. And you could easily just work out where the line of sight is, go somewhere like here, set up a tower, and that's it. Oh, you might actually get a worker pick, which is going to be a big deal. In 1-racks versus 1-racks, where you only have about sort of 6 or 7 workers, well 8 at the moment actually already, using that one worker is going to be a big deal. He's got to pull someone else to pick it off. There we go. And he is going to back off. It's vital that Kieras actually saved that. And the barracks from Kieras is going to be done now in just a second here, but it is a little way behind his opponents. So that's going to give the initial push just to Kieras, just by benefit of the fact that they'll probably meet sort of around here. And that's going to be closer to Kieras' base, which gives Yummy a little bit of space. It gives them room just to retreat. It sort of keeps him safer because he's got more time to react and get a second unit out if he does lose that first fight. And there we go, the first rifleman is now done for Yummy. It's going to ward off that worker at the front, so the worker can't see if this is going to be a 2-racks all in. 2-racks all in, by the way, is going to be pretty much arguably hard counter to just going 1 barracks. And as you can see, they are going to meet here. Kieras actually just going for this pick on the worker, which is nice. And there we go. So Kieras actually bringing the worker with him. That's something we've been seeing a lot lately, which is really interesting. Is actually to just bring this one worker with you, just to give your rifleman map control, because the other rifleman has to back off and can't take that hit. There we go. But defender's advantage coming in now for Yummy, and the soldier's going to pop out, and it is going to be 2-racks. It's not going to be 1-rack to expand here from Yummy, it is going to be 2-racks, so that's going to be really nice for him. The main thing is, as long as he can do damage before his opponent expands. Alright, so Kieras opted to go for 2 riflemen rather than getting a soldier out. The soldier's the better unit, but it can get kited here. And Kieras looking to go for 1-racks expand. Oh no, Kieras actually toying with me, they're both going to go 2-racks all in here. Normally we're used to seeing 1-racks expand, but I guess people are just going to go for the counter build on this map, which is interesting. The other counter build that you can do is 1-racks forge. It's very risky, but it does give you a really nice advantage that you can start pressing. So we're going to reach a little bit of stalemate for a second here as both players try and weigh up their options and carefully select of each unit. Because obviously the soldiers have to run forward to attack, but they do a lot more damage and do have a lot more health. So it's weighing up which unit you really want here. Kieras is going to step forward, but there's already concave set up for Yummy. And the first set of blows do land possibly in Yummy's favour, but Kieras is determined to try and press this. He thinks his micro is good enough to contest this on his opponent's side of the map. But you can see another rifleman's going to be done here soon for Yummy. And this is going to be close. Yummy does actually get the better hit, possibly on this soldier. There we go. He's going to take the soldier down. That's going to give him more health, and the riflemen do have to back off here, as they've already lost that engagement. So Kieras actually possibly being a bit overzealous. He's gone for, reckoned his micro is good enough to sort of step forward and take that, but apparently it isn't. He's going to try and pick off that rifleman in the back there, but Yummy actually pulling his back. It's 2 riflemen versus 3. This is really tense in the center right now, guys. Kieras did try and rifleman block in the background, but that rifleman's going to go down. The soldier's going to come step forward now. And overall, that was a fairly even trade. Kieras possibly coming slightly out ahead because he's spread the damage out. But there really wasn't much in that skirmish, guys. And you can see just nothing but units right now for both players. They do actually possibly have the gold to start getting something else after this. Possibly a tower for map control might be nice. But we're going to see Kieras is keeping this worker in his army, which is a really nice decision in my opinion. But it's going to be 2 soldiers versus effectively none right now for Yummy. And that's possibly going to be it. There's not much he can do to contest the soldiers. He's going to try and stutter step. But what he really needs to do is try and split these riflemen up. And Kieras is actually going to back off. He's going to take a lot of damage on these soldiers. And Kieras is going to focus down that rifleman at the back. One goes down, the second one's going to go down shortly. But the soldiers are on top of these riflemen. They're going to take a lot of damage. One rifleman goes down. Another rifleman pops out for Kieras right now. And this is so close. Kieras actually probably in a better position. Yummy in a better position. He's been showing some excellent control of his units right now. And he's going to be reinforcing with soldiers. Possibly looking for this counter push right now. And Kieras is just going to have to back off. He doesn't have the health on these units right now to contest this. He's got more units popping out. And it is going to be purely riflemen coming out from pretty soon, which is nice. But I think Yummy has free reign to pick off these low health soldier and the low health riflemen. And oh no, this one's going to spawn out right in the face of 4 riflemen. It's going to trade really badly and that's going to go down. The soldier's going to pick it off. There we go. Rifleman goes down. The low health soldier gets picked off at the front. The worker's in trouble. That's not good for Kieras. He's pulling more workers trying to deal with this, but that's gold time that he's not getting. Yummy's going for the second base behind this, and I think Kieras has got a clock on his head. The workers are going to try and fight this in the front here, but there are soldiers fighting those with workers of Kieras. It's just not going well. Yummy actually possibly going to lose this fight here in the front, but in exchange for so many workers, it's almost definitely worth it. Another worker's going to go down the back there, and it's soldiers on top of riflemen right now. But Kieras does have a better rifleman lead, which is nice. But Yummy could just back off here, secure his second base, and he'd be absolutely fine. But there we go, he's going to go push for it. And that low health worker's going to get picked off. The soldier's backing off, but it's still sort of taking damage for him. And this is yet more mining time lost for Kieras right now. Yummy's going to back off him. We'll take a bit of damage as he leaves. But that was fantastic for him. The natural base is done. He's going to be making twice as many workers as his opponent. And the armies are so small, there's nothing really Kieras can do to contest this right now. Really nice play from Yummy here, and possibly going to go 2-0 as a fantastic debut match. Yummy looking to contest this again, but he can't just yet, not with these riflemen here. They can put pressure on this barracks and just camp any units that come out of this. And more riflemen are going to come back this up for Yummy, and Kieras possibly just going to try and grab his workers and rush his opponent right now because there's nothing else he can do. He's making more workers just to essentially be able to put some into his army, which is a nice decision. But here we go, the workers are going to be pulled here along with the army, and Kieras is going to be able to push this back. Yummy can't fight this just yet, but more units are coming in here from Yummy, and he does have workers to pull of his own. And right now nothing's going to get done, and that's a lot of gold lost in mining time right now for Kieras. There we go, the soldiers are possibly going to get picked up at the front here, which is possibly not the best trade that you'd want. And it is going to be pure riflemen versus soldiers and riflemen here, so Yummy possibly in a bad position as Kieras tries to push this back, but workers are going to get pulled. And I don't think Kieras can get much done here. The soldiers are going to get on top of the riflemen though as they try and sort of step around. Is Kieras going to do this? Kieras might actually do this. The soldiers on top of the riflemen, the workers aren't engaging just yet. And this actually could be really bad for Yummy. Could it be this transition that kills him? Units are going to pop out as he continues to produce. And the soldiers maybe are too much. There's too many units right now. There's 4 soldiers and 4 riflemen on top of hardly any units right now for YummyBlaBla in his base. The workers are going to get pulled and they might get a nice surrounding. The soldier at the front is going to go down. It's just so close. Kieras is actually going to try and set up the offensive tower in the middle of his opponent's base, and if that goes up, it could be all over for Yummy right now. Yummy tries to push this back, but Kieras actually just managed to get that much further ahead in army supply thanks to just not sort of getting that third base, whereas Yummy actually skipped a few. The workers are getting on top of the riflemen right now, and they are going to try and back off. But Yummy's losing a lot of workers here. That's not what you want. The tower isn't going up though, which is one of the most important things. He can't let that go up. There's so many workers on really low health here. He could easily lose 3 or 4, which is going to be devastating. The soldiers of Kieras are on low health, but nothing's contesting them right now. There we go, Yummy dropping down to 8 workers. He's going to try and get us around on the soldiers again. One soldier goes down. The soldier goes down at the back here, but so many workers down. It's half the workers for Yummy. And I think Kieras can just push this. Yummy can't afford to defend, he's got no units out on the way. And Kieras with actually some surprisingly good decision making there, not on third base.